Hey guys, welcome into the Poker Reborn channel. We are back with another episode of Small Things I Found. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different. I am in combat. There is something very interesting that I want to tell you guys. For starters, we're going to dive right on into this episode, or this scenario right here that we're looking at. There's some special things, some little nuggets here. Number one, this is an Ifrit, I believe is how people are telling me to say it. So it's Ifrit. See how it's distracted? He ended up throwing sand at a freaking Ifrit, and the thing actually, like sand. Dude, the thing's made of rock. I don't understand that. But nonetheless, he does end up having the distracted thing on him. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't change a lot for us, but it is kind of it's kind of wild how those little things sneak through at least. The next thing I want to show you guys, or tell you guys at least, is if you watched earlier today, we had a video on the Lindworm. I ended up facing Lindworm in the Coliseum. Right away, I had to restart the match not long after, because we found out that the tail of a Lindworm now has a zone of control. In the past, it never had a zone of control. You could literally walk out. You know, the strategy would be that you'd let the Lindworm get close to you where the tail is right up to your guy. You'd take you'd attack, do walk 2 spaces away, excuse me. And then he would move his head, then put the tail right back in its spot, attack, move back 2 spaces, and at some point you just would have to either recover or rest or whatever it is over time. So you could follow him around forever doing that. But now they actually have buffed the Lindworm, but debuffed the Lindworm. So I went back and watched the video. If you guys go back and watch the video as well, Lindworm, and I could be wrong, and I'm willing to be the person to tell you, hey, I'm wrong about this. But number one, you get the zone of control. Number two, if you look at the damage output from the first time we go into the arena to the time after that when we reface them, we ended up what happened was the damage was not as strong as it's been in the past. Like before it could strip 200 armor, but I had 100 and 150 armor when facing it, and it didn't take out the whole armor. Even hitting the head, it didn't take out the whole helm. It took out like a decent portion. I think it was like 2/3 or so of the helm. So go back and check that out. You can see that. Also, what we ended up finding out as well, when you're facing the Lindworms, you can use the Dagger. I'm telling you guys, this is no secret. This is not a small thing. It's starting to become more and more apparent, and I am seriously crossing my fingers that the devs do not take this away from us, because you guys are going to absolutely love this Dagger. It is my favorite weapon. It's, as of right now, it's totally stole my heart. It's so much fun to use. There's so many like special situations. I ended up building this guy out especially for the Dagger, and you'll see when we face the Lindworm, what I did was I debuffed him by 30% on the tail. So the tail was almost null and void, not going to hit me. It had a 5% chance to hit me in the first place. And granted, he's a little stacked right now, but that's mostly because of the confident morale. He's still amazing regardless. But the point is I was stab, 30 debuff, and then when the head went to strike me, it had an 18% chance to hit. We showed that in the video, and then I just beat him up with the 2 other pullmen. My point with this is, if you went into the combat with 2 Dagger guys, sorry, I'm like losing it here. You use one guy attacking the tail, one guy attacking the head. You only have a 5% chance one time on each of them. That would be it. The rest of the time you're beating the hell out of a freaking Lindworm. Is that the most sustainable way to do it? Absolutely not. But it was super effective if you go back and watch that video. The other thing is, this is how I ended up building this guy out. It's worked out really well. I highly suggest doing a duelist setup with this perk, or with this sword. You believe it or not, a lot of people have a misconception of this weapon. The damage that you do, you are not stabbing through the armor. It's not like puncture. Even when you're doing this, you're hitting armor. But when you hit the health, the ability to get through the health and inflict damage is, oh my gosh, guys, it's so sick. Every time I hit somebody, I cause an injury. Even bigger things, I'm causing injuries and then just dagging them down. I've killed an unhold with this guy. Not even joking. You can kill unholds with this thing. Is it the most sustainable thing again? Not saying it is, but it is definitely good. The next thing I want to talk about is the Nomad light helm. This is not game breaking or anything by no means, but it is a very nice helm that you can find in the South. I found it all over the place. You can find it with the first tier of Nomads. You have 3 fatigue at 70 armor. You can get that right away, has no penalty for seeing, great for your brothers until you can get a nice cough, a male cough, or if you really are pushing that fatigue, you want the armor and the head, this is what you're looking for. This thing is really nice. It set me apart, especially with this composite bow. Very nice bow as well. So there is that. Now, the next thing, since we're going to stick to archers, I want to talk about Aslam. I found something that could be completely broken. Once again, the handgun. So the handgun is one thing that I did not expect to use right away. I blew some money trying to get this thing. Now that I have it, obviously it's coming out more and more that there's a meta strategy coming forth with overwhelm. Unfortunately, I didn't end up going that way because of this -30 initiative. That's why I haven't built it out that way, if anybody's wondering. And I didn't know I was going to go this route, so I ended up getting fast adaptation. I like the idea of a master archer. However, when you're using the handgun, there's a little bit of a misconception with it. Excuse me, this is crazy. So when you go to shoot, I just shot a second ago. I was starting to record this and had one issue that I forgot. I couldn't show you guys because I'm not in the city states, but nonetheless, I'll just continue with this. I ended up shooting at this pot, hitting him, okay? If I go after all 3 of these, there's so many cone radius here that does not hit anything. Because I'm attacking 3 different targets, any target I don't hit or any target I shoot at gives me the different tiles and percentages for the next shot. If you did not understand that, I'll just kind of show you this right now. It's right, where are you at? There we go. I shot this at one opponent, and because there was bullets that missed him, even though I hit him, there was bullets that missed him. Because I missed that one person, though I hit him, I got a plus 10%. If I shoot at 2 other brothers, 2 other enemies, and I hit both of them, whether I hit them or not, because there was 2 that I shot at and the bullets didn't hit them, I get a plus 20% the next time I shoot. If I shoot at 3 of them and I miss, do you understand where this is kind of going? The fact of the matter is, fast adaptation stacks like a mother hummer with the handgun, and I can't believe I found that. It has been insane, because even if I don't miss, I'm getting a stack. Oh, it is dirty because it's acting like I'm missing even though I'm hitting them. Okay, so that's the biggest one of the night. And then let's see what else we have here. Oh, city-state patrols. This is a big one. So I had been asked about city-states, how they move, because there's individual areas. Let's pretend he is a city-state, right? Excuse me, I'm dying here. So this is a city-state. What happens is the patrols go out in a flower formation. They go out, they bud, and they come back. They go out, they bud, and they come back. Go out, bud, and come back. Go out, bud, and come back. Go out, bud, and come back. You see that? It turns into a flower. So this is what they do all day long. There's 2 patrols that I've noticed. There could be more, but the general consensus is that there's 2 patrols. They go out and they come back. Why does this matter? Well, there's different city-states. If this is a city-state, they're individual city-states. They're not going to the next place. So you're not going to see them traveling the road all the time. I do see them on the road, very rarely. The point, though, is still they are budding. So when you go to face an opponent, a lot of times you can get them in, like, it's really easy to do a quest and have them there for the extra help. However, Overhyped Studios has done a bit of a helping hand, if you will. What is it called? I'm trying to think of what it's called. The patrols, if you're doing a quest, the patrols will not go out of their way to help you with that quest. So if you have let's say he's the enemy and you're like, he's chasing you, right? And here comes the patrol. They will walk right through him and not even attack. So they made it so that they're not just going to do the quest for you. What I've found is you can have the enemy face you, and then as soon as you get in radius of the army, you can let them attack you, and then they'll fight with you. So that is some huge information. If you're, because in the past we just pull, like, we'd take a really tough quest for 3,000. Here comes a 1st Battalion army, and you just be like, boom, you know, and get in that combat. Now they don't purposely go out of their way to help you with your quest. So there is that. Very good stuff there. I did get asked, how is the tracking, the AI tracking? This is how the AI tracking works. If you have a line here, and the enemy has 15 soldiers, 10 of the soldiers hit the line. The rest of the soldiers, providing they're not archers, will actually work their way around your line like a berserker. They no longer will keep wrapping the sides all the way to your back line and keep wrapping. Though if they get past, like, this is the end of the line here, they'll clash here, and then the rest will start working their way around to your archers. Very smart. Unfortunately though, it's a little too smart for certain opponents. For instance, the Wiener Gangers, they're zombies, they're brain dead, but for some reason, they will walk around and do the exact same AI tracking that any other enemy would do. This is a problem. I think that needs to be fixed. Zombies should just be crashing into the line, irregardless of, you know, they shouldn't know that, oh, there's an archer in the back, I'm gonna avoid everything I see and go right to the archer. That's what's going on. That's kind of the update there. And I want to thank Having the Hero ended up asking that question. And finally, this one is kind of off to the side. This is not a things that I've noticed, just a really great idea. And that's if somebody's making mods and they're watching some of this stuff, one mod that was brought up that I think is genius is a little light radius. If this is our company, let's say we're this right here, right? You know, we can never tell how far out we can actually see. Yes, the fog of war gets cleared, but how far out can we actually see until the enemy breaks that line of sight? And the guy that was saying this was, I believe it's Sven. Sven is how you say his name. He was saying, what if there was a light line that showed exactly how far out you can see? So, like with the retinue, for instance, there's the lookout chick who allows you to have 20% more viewing range. I actually have her in my retinue right now, and it's worked out great, but I can't exactly tell how far out I can see. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. I do have my video. It ended up dropping tonight on the Beast, or the Battle Hounds. If you have not seen it, it's a full role play, full on graphics, everything. It's a movie, pretty much. It's a Battle Brothers movie. If you go to the channel, you can check it out. It's episode 39, and I plan on doing more of these, even one that might introduce, I haven't done it, haven't worked it out yet, but introduce us into this new campaign that's coming up with the new Blazing Deserts. It's going to happen maybe this weekend. Until then, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!